Hello, I'm Scott, and I am going to show you the process that I'm using to resolve an issue I have in Google search. Current issue is that my brand search is going to social media accounts, not to my website. So brand search meaning someone who's searching for me by name. Anyone can use this personally or as a company. I'm shooting this video because I've helped others a whole lot of times in the past solve this same issue, and I decided it was a great time to just capture it on video. So let's get into it. And let me bring this down to here. Okay, so our problem is that we have a brand search going to social accounts, not to our owned website. And social accounts are not owned by me. They are rented space that can be taken away from me at any time. So if you're building your online empire on Facebook or Instagram, just know that an algorithm update or some kind of funny account business mix up outside of your control can instantly take those accounts away from you, instantly freeze you out, or you never know when something's going to disrupt the user base on your particular platform. So for this case, my Twitter handle is finnious Scott Finney, and that is our brand search that we're using for this example. When we search for this in Google, then I did this in incognito mode. So you want to go to an incognito where you have no prior cookies, do the search for your brand. Note that if you're a high local intent, then you need to make sure you're doing this search with the location in mind. So, just keep that in mind if you're a local business with a physical address. Okay. So Phineas Scott Finney. Our first result is twitter.com/Phineas. The good news is that is my Twitter account. The bad news is that's my Twitter account, not a website that I totally control. The second is, again, Twitter/Phineas/status photo. All right, 4 days ago, so just like a recent post. All right, then we have Facebook.com, which is my public figure account, which, again, it's great that it does lead to me, but it's also a vulnerability that it isn't my own domain. Then we have Instagram, Phineas, which is my account as well. So that's a social account I own. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Finally, we get out of the social accounts, right? So here we have a bicycle accident that I was in 2019, creating Value LLC.com/bicycle accident 2019. The good news is this is my domain. The thing about this is, like, this is, if someone is interested in finding out about the bicycle accident, perfect. This is the best page. But chances are, if they're just searching for a brand search, then they're not looking for this specific piece of information. They're looking for a better overall, like, who, what, how do I connect kind of a thing, right? All right, so after creating Value LLC, then we have LinkedIn, Scott Finney, which is my LinkedIn account. Again, great. This channel does lead to me, but it's rented space being LinkedIn. And then we get to Phineas.com, about, contact info, then Phineas.com/blog. This is a domain that I own as well. And so that's good, but that's also after Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, creating Value LLC, LinkedIn. Then we get to my, just personal blog thing that is horribly outdated, and I don't even know what's on there. All right, and then we have images, and this is good that all these images are pictures of me. So that's another thing that you need to consider with your brand search. Make sure that your image is what people find. Then we have citycurrent.com, which is a radio show that I made an appearance on back in 2017. Again, great for, validating and showing people who I am. But again, this is not a property owned by me. So the solution is to publish a brand search optimized page on a domain that I own. So we want to publish a page on the internet where Google can see and identify, oh, someone searching for this particular phrase is looking for this URL, this page. All right. Why? Well, we want to capture the brand search. We want them to come to us when they're searching for us by name. Like if they're searching for us by name, that means we're doing something offline in the real world, or a friend, or somehow you've gotten their attention. You don't want to lose that. And all those social things are not intended to connect that person to you. Facebook is intended to get them endlessly scrolling. Instagram is intended to get them endlessly scrolling, and not endlessly scrolling your content, just endlessly scrolling. So why we want to capture our brand search. Another bonus why is we want to gain visibility on how my Twitter audience is reaching out. So remember, the number one search result right now is my Twitter bio. And so someone searching for me by name, it makes sense that most likely they click the top search result. That's what most people do, first search result. It's great that they find me here. This is a screenshot of my Twitter bio, but if you look at my Twitter bio, the URL is my LinkedIn, which again, it still keeps them, it's not going to a competitor, right, or someone else, but now I'm running the risk of, losing. Like if I get them to Twitter, I run the risk of them just going to the Twitter feed. If I get them to LinkedIn, I run the risk of losing them to the LinkedIn world, right? So that is another thing we want to close this loop to where people who are, if Twitter is going to have the number one search result for now, then if they're gonna leave Twitter, let's get them to us instead of to another social platform where we're again running the risk of losing them. All right, so how are we going to do this? Well, if you remember the first page of Google, there were two domains that I own that I have control over. Those two domains, finnious.com and creatingvaluellc.com. So you might think, your first inclination might be that finnious.com is the obvious because it has the brand search in the title. And now on a brand experience note, yes, ideally people searching for Phineas, Scott Finney, lead them finnious.com. However, the content on that site has been neglected, and so it's not the home run option. What we're going to do here, these are two screenshots from Ahrefs, and this is an SEO tool. And the thing that we're looking at here is which one of these is a more trusted place by Google. So if Google was looking at these domains head to head, which one has more authority? Which one does Google have more trust in? The best indicator of this is domain ranking, this DR. And don't worry about all the technical stuff, but essentially it's like when you look at all the clues online, Ahrefs has a rank of like the most trusted. I think currently it's facebook.com is the most trusted domain per Google. And here you go. The domain ranking shows that Creating Value LLC with a 31 DR over a 2.7. So the higher DR, the more trusted. That is the obvious winner. All right. So now we are going to check for the best URL on our selected domain. So like now, we're going to use Search Console, and we're going to determine what is creatingvaluellc.com currently testing for Phineas at the moment. So I'm just looking for any searches that contain the text Phineas on inside Search Console, including Phineas, past 16 months on Creating Value LLC. And these are the two URLs. So bicycle accident 2019 and cryptocurrency. Those are the two that are being tested. let me also point out this is not a huge monster load of search volume here. This is a brand search, so unless the name of your company is, best tow truck in town or whatever, unless you name your business that, then you're probably not going to see a whole lot of search volume for your brand unless you're running radio ads or doing something, getting a lot of media attention, doing something that gets people to search for you by name. So just a little side note there. And so I want to point out though, creatingvaluellc.com, bicycle accident, makes sense that was the URL that was in the SERP for a search engine results page for Finnious. I was surprised to see this, but it only has 10 impressions over 50. If anything, that's a new piece of content that I just published last week, I think. So maybe it's just, I don't know why that has that in there. Anyway, let's compare it to finnious.com. So like I said, finnious.com hasn't been updated or touched in a long time, but it does have content on it. So here we are, last 16 months, we're including any kind of query that contains Finnious in it. And here we have more options. We have 6 pages instead of, the 2 on Creating Value LLC. Out of these 6 pages, root, homepage has the most impressions. Great. And then this blog post from 2016 where I was talking about Snapchat has the second most. And then just some random stuff that's out there. This is not surprising to me, and that's a good thing that it's the root domain because it is a brand search, and so that makes sense. But again, this domain doesn't have much authority. It needs a whole lot of love and attention, and I don't know what it needs to be. So it's easier to add a page to creatingvaluellc.com than it is to overhaul, update the finnious.com content. So what are our actions? Now that we've investigated, determined what we're going to do, our action items are: we're going to publish a page on creatingvaluellc.com. We are, after we publish that page, optimized for the brand search. Publish a page. Then we are going to index it in Search Console. So Google Search Console, we're going to request an index. That's pretty much your way, letting Google know, hey, this URL exists. It's been added to our site. We want Google to take a look at it, look at what the content is on there, and get it into the search results, get it into the index. And after that, we want to update our Twitter bio. So we no longer send people to LinkedIn. We send people to this page, right? And then we're going to check back in a month and see if any of this stuff did anything. Ideally in a month we check it, then the top result will be creatingvaluellc.com/Finnious-Scott-Finney as number 1. Reality, it'll probably swap out that bicycle accident page. Let's go back up to the top so you see what I'm saying. Ideally we publish this new page and we get the number 1 search result for that new page. However, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram have a whole lot more power on those domains than Creating Value LLC. So potentially we just see this change from the bicycle accident to the brand search URL that we're going to publish. Maybe we get both on there. That's why we have to publish it and let Google test it and see what's going on, and then see how Google shakes out, right? Okay. So, by the way, there's a ton of things we could do. We could we have a lot of options. We could publish this page. We could get links to this page. We could buy a press release about this page. There's countless things we could do to get a URL to the top for this brand search. And if it was, mission critical, then we would be doing more than we're doing right now. But what you want your technique here with search results is you want to get the best results with the minimum amount of effort, because there is endless things you could and should be doing. So it's like, let's boil it down. What's a minimum effective dose to get the maximum return? So since this isn't necessarily urgent, we're going to publish it, wait a few weeks, and see what happens. All right. Okay. So that being said, here's our Creating Value LLC web page. The way to expedite this, I just clicked on the contact us page, right? And I just like made a copy of this page and changed out the content to be optimized for our desired search term. Let me point out what has been done here. So first off, the URL slug. So after the root domain, creatingvaluellc.com, we have finnious-scott-finney. And then I've also got the name here, our desired search term. We'll look at the content of this in a second. This is just me disabling the stuff that was already on the page. Here we have our title tag, Finnious Scott Finney, Creating Value LLC. That's like the default structure. And I'll tell you what, we are. We'll just leave that as is for I'm tempted to take off Creating Value LLC, but we'll just leave it like that. Okay. And then our meta description, let's see, looking to we'll do learn more and connect with click for to yeah, this is where like I don't have a real strong call to action. So because it is a brand search, we really just want to make sure that if someone sees this, then they know they're in the right place, right? We'll just leave it at that. Okay. So then this has not been published yet. So if we go to this right now on the website, it's going to be a 404. It doesn't exist. I wanted to do all this in real time. So preview. All right. So a quick look at what's going on this page. Title tag, we just looked at this stuff. Meta description, we just looked at this stuff. This is a preview page, so that stuff, don't worry about it. All right, header H1, putting our desired brand search in the H1. The H1 is like the title tag. It is like, this is the main thing on the page for the search engine. For the H2s, so think of this as like a table of contents. These are supporting things. All right, I took a lazy approach. I just grabbed, if you remember my Twitter bio, this is my Twitter bio, uncovering my contribution to the world based out of Memphis, Tennessee. How can I help? And then my actual call to action is connect on LinkedIn. Well, I need to remove that. Also need to update this once we get this page published. So I took the easy way. I just like copied this stuff, and I'm pointing out that, and then here's my contact form. So, someone on Twitter, someone searching for me, like they're searching for me by name. They they already know I exist. So my assumption is if they already know that, then they're just looking, to connect with me. So giving them a contact form. Ideally, this is a whole elaborate, brand experience where I tell my story and everything, and it should eventually be that. But I don't have time for that at the moment right now. We have time for what we're doing. All right, so this page is a draft, and we are going to publish it. Now that it's published, we can see creatingvaluellc.com/finnious-Scott Finney. That's our H1. These are H2s. And there's our contact form. All right. So how do we see if Google knows this exists? Well, we do site : and there. It does not exist in the eyes of Google. So if we take this off, here's all the pages that Google has from creatingvaluellc.com in the index, right? And you can refine this to, like just the URL you're interested in, or you can also put a keyword on the end there. Like how I have a space and I've got crypto. Well, it's showing cryptocurrency. Or if I do bike, then here's bicycle accident. Oh, bike x-rays. Well, this looks like spam. Oh, okay. That image got indexed. Honestly, I was expected to see like an ad for Ray-Bans or something with bike X-ray. So anyway, okay. And then here again, like creating value, and then the keyword. Well, images. These are actually pictures of me from the bicycle accident. So, all right, the page exists is what I'm getting to. And now that the page exists, we need to let Google know that the page exists. So we go back to our search console, and we're in Google Search Console. We've selected https creatingvaluellc.com, inspect URL. This is the URL we want them to expect. URL is not on Google, all right? So we want to request indexing. And again, this is, hey, Google, we want you to be aware of this page and therefore put it in the search results for people that may be searching for it or searching for content that may be contained on it. All right, so it's been requested. This is not instantaneous, although sometimes it is very close to instantaneous. So we can sit here and just continue to click this over and over again and find out when it's there. But we probably have better things to do than find out the moment that it is in the index. So it wouldn't surprise me if it pops up in an hour or two or tomorrow. It really fluctuates on how the frequency that I see pages go into the Google index. And that is it for this video. Any questions, feel free to reach out. creatingvaluellc.com is a good way to get to me. Or I'll put this up on YouTube and you can leave a comment and that kind of thing. Let me know if there was anything I mentioned in here that you'd like me to explore more, and talk soon.